Hello, TestFlix people. Hope you're enjoying this event. Today, you're going to learn about the forensics of testing. I'm Mike Lyles. You can find out more about me at mikewlyles.com. I won't go through all the things I've done in my career over 27 years, but I will tell you I have a book called The Drive-Thru is Not Always Faster, and I would love for you to try it out. It's a motivational book, 30 short stories. Check it out. But why we're here today is to talk about my love of crime shows and the forensics of testing. I started watching crime shows years ago, and I fell in love with the fact that crime shows really draw me in as a tester. I think it's my mentality as a tester and my background in testing. I just really like it. And I started with Dateline, and then there was another episode in the US called 48 Hours, and I started watching both of these shows every weekend, loving the episodes. And then a network came out called Investigation Discovery. And Investigation Discovery is a 24 hours a day crime show channel. So I'm in heaven. I watch it all the time, so many different things. But as I watch these crime shows, I realize there's always a theme. And the theme starts like this and goes through this course. There's an initial tease. They draw you in. They get you thinking about what's going on. You start building your hypothesis and you start saying, I want to watch the rest of this episode, because they really get you with, here's what happened. Here's some initial clues. They start giving you incremental facts. And along the way, you start building more and more of what you think is happening and what you think occurred in this crime scene. But then they give you misleading cues, and those misleading cues take you down a different path, and they get you confused, and you think you know the solution, you think you know who the killer was, you think you know who committed the crime, but you don't. But as the show gets closer to the end, you get more facts and more details. Maybe someone calls in, maybe there's a surveillance camera video that wasn't there at the start, and then at the end, you get a final surprise. And a lot of times you'll end up seeing that the criminal or the accused is not even the person you thought it was going to be. And that made me think about how we can compare testing with forensics. So I'm going to share 5 quick things with you. Number 1, read them their rights. In the US, we have a law called the Miranda rights, and we tell people what they can and can't do legally, and you have to read that to a criminal the moment you're about to arrest them so that they understand their rights. As testers, when we're working with teams, it's very important that everybody knows the way we're going to work together, and it's good to align with your team to understand how we're going to work and what should be done early in the process. Number 2, don't be fooled by your initial findings. Take everything that you find, but continue to investigate and log more than defects. Keep good observation notes. Don't just write the defects and that's the only thing you track. Keep track of everything you're doing along the way, because it could help you eventually. Which leads me to point 3, don't rule out anything initially. Crime scene investigators, they'll lock down the scene, they'll put the tape out, and then they'll start looking for clues everywhere. And they don't care what they find. They're taking note of everything they see when they're looking at a crime scene. Every major and minor detail is recorded, and nothing is ruled out as inconsequential at first. As testers, we need to just evaluate. We're investigative reporters. We are forensics investigators. We need to dig in, take note of what we're doing, what we're seeing, and we might be able to use that data later. Number 4, innocent until proven guilty. In forensics, that's the law, right? In testing, it's broken until proven quality, maybe. Investigators will start with the family. And when you see a crime scene that's happened in the home, a lot of times the investigators will start talking to the spouse or the children or the neighbors or the family members, because that's the majority of the time where things start or where the crime has occurred. But then they work their way out and they start moving outside. If they rule out the family or the neighbors, then they start going further out. With testing, we have to start with the core functions, but we have to explore beyond just those core functions. And number 5, compile the results. Great investigators are always in continuous delivery mode. They're always looking for new things. They're sharing with the community. They're taking inputs from the outside, and they analyze the findings over and over. With testing, continuous testing and evaluation becomes critical. Now, as testers, we need to be partners in crime. And you're asking me, Mike, what does that mean? Well, I want to share with you a mnemonic, and we all love mnemonics in the testing world. Today's mnemonic is CRIME, which stands for collaboration, requirements, investigate, mind map, and explore. I'll go through these quickly. Collaboration is critical. We no longer have the luxury to work in different teams and different groups. We have to work together, everybody on the project, together as one. Requirements, understanding the stakeholders, what they want, how they want it is critical. Michael Bolton said one time, you got to get very close with those stakeholders and understand what they want and how they want it. It's important to do that. Make sure you understand the requirements. I is for investigate. Increase your coverage. Don't just do step 1, 2, and 3. Go beyond the scripts. Go beyond the initial scenarios. Get involved in the design and the user interface. And M is for mind maps. And if you haven't used mind maps, Google it, reach out to me, or find somebody that's writing about it, because mind maps are a great way to collaborate and work together with your teams. And E is explore. Again, go beyond just the writing down of scenarios or test cases or test steps. Explore, and evaluate the product. So there you have it. CRIME, collaboration, requirements, investigate, mind map, and explore. And don't forget, things are going to change sometimes, and we have to be prepared for it. A year ago, we wouldn't have even known what this picture was, and today we all know what that picture is. Things are going to change, and we have to adapt. And don't forget, you have the potential to change the world and to be remembered for all the things you've done today, tomorrow, and beyond. You don't have to be someone big or someone famous. You can change the world right where you are today, doing exactly what you're doing. So I'm going to ask you, what are you doing to be great? Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this event.